alignment with what a minister of the gospel should look like?
I believe that character is an issue. If somebody would be considering ministering through their music, I think it should be the same qualifications that it would be for a minister of the gospel to minister, even if it wasn't through music. For example, if it was an evangelist or so forth, the qualifications should be the same in that aspect. So the standard should be just as high.
You're doing what you're supposed to do, right frame of mind in regards to your purpose. That's what I'm trying to get at. The stage is really just the precursor or the foreshadowing in regards to what the real message is and how a person is living their life.
So I think he's the excellent prototype of what it is to, once you get out that stage, to do the ministry aspect of things and spend time with those brothers and sisters that look up to you. So I would say the ambassador is the perfect prototype because of what I witnessed him do after the event, after the show. You know, spending in countless of hours at each event I've been through throughout the U.S. I always see him do the same thing, just taking time out for the next generation.
For a believer in Jesus Christ, it means that the gospel can be brought forth on the stage, but I think the real ministry happens off stage, in your community, in churches, things like that. So just be on the stage. It's great to be on stage. I enjoy being on stage. I've had many great experiences on stage, but I think the heart of the gospel can be seen off stage.
You know, forget the fame, forget all that. If I can introduce someone to Christ, then I've done my job, and He's allowed me to do that. So that's
relationships in general, building with people as Jesus did. Jesus was a very relationable person. He would sit with sinners and engage in conversation with them. He would even do miracles and perform miracles for them. And a lot of people believed, because not that he was just Jesus, because a lot of them still didn't believe he was God and he was God's son. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact he was relationable.
Beyond the stage, what it means to me, man, is that the stage is just one part of the entire process, man. I mean, it's actually using the tool of music to attract people into this bigger thing that will change their life, and that's Jesus Christ. That's the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And beyond the stage, what we do is the more important part, I think. The stage is one thing. We have fun, we jump, we laugh, but beyond the stage, it's all about ministering. It's all about getting to know people. It's all about building men. For me as a producer, I like to build men and women up to be ministers and to be ministers of the gospel and help them develop their craft so that when they hit the stage, they can make an impact in somebody's life.
I think most of all, you know, God's really putting like a drive and a passion and a hard-working mentality into what I do. So it really doesn't matter kind of what's going on and how many things I try and balance on my plate. You know, I'm one of those guys that pretty much tries to put 100% into everything that I do.
I look for other producers beyond the stage is relationship first, music second. If you come with a grind mentality, it has to be a purpose. I think a lot of cats get confused when you come in to this genre as you're gonna get your name out and you're gonna get exposure, but there's certain ways to do it. Relationship comes first.
Living a life, because people will see you on a stage, people will see you say one thing, but then after, when you step off the stage, they're looking for you to live that. They're watching your life. And when it doesn't line up, what it creates is this dichotomy that ultimately breeds confusion.
Singing through the other, man. You should always be genuine about what you're doing. As much as you're on stage and your performance can be on point, sincere, honest, convicting, but then off stage, if you're not, then off the stage, and you're not doing the same thing you're doing on stage. That's to me what it should be about off the stage. Doing the same thing you do on stage in your personal life.
But if you're making music that you love and you feel and you know that God has led you to make, you can't go wrong.
Creatively, find your own lane. Don't just check iTunes and try to, find a blueprint and work that way. That's not how you create a lane. Do your thing, practice, and eventually you'll start to develop your own sound.